Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's about that time, isn't it? Better turn this music down. Kind of rocking, you know. No copyright on this instrumental music that I'm playing in the background. Before you attack my little Sebastian shrine back here, many of good morning, Libby. Many of you, you're looking good today, Libby. I like the way I like it. I like it. But listen, many of you don't mind going live with your closet doors open and your laundry hanging over a doorknob. And I like to set up a little backdrop for what I do. And today I'm doing this for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, as it is. You see, this is the shocking truth as I see it today, Tuesday, January 14th. But something on this that caught my eye this morning. And I thought, before we even get started, I wanted to read this to you because listen to the verbiage that you're going to hear here. Here, here. Here, here. Here it is, though. But listen, it's talking about the reward. It says the significant escalation reflects new credible leads that have emerged from Oregon, New York, particularly near the Canadian border entry points. Okay. Investigators believe that these developments may be tied to, organized criminal activity, including the presence of the Arugua gang. I know that's a very bad Trende Oliver. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. A transnational criminal organization originating from Venezuela, which has established a foothold in Tennessee. Okay, so number one, we're catching my eye. There's a gang activity in Tennessee. And I don't know that anybody's been talking about that. I certainly haven't because I just caught this. The gang is notorious for involvement in human trafficking, drug smuggling, and other illicit activities. The investigation remains active with officials re-interviewing witnesses, re-examining evidence, and following up on tips. I mean, that was very noteworthy to bring that up. We're up to $250,000. So I wanted to shout that out real quickly to make sure that everybody caught that before I really got into this. So good morning. Good morning. It's 10 a.m. And as many of you know, on Tuesdays, I do the shocking truth as I see it. And I talk to various people. Today, I am talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, $250,000 reward, and just some really interesting stuff. So bear with me, if you will. Let's get going. What would you say if I told you, the internet community, that the $250,000 reward, the $250,000 reward, may not be up for grabs in the missing autistic teenager out of Hendersonville, Tennessee case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? Yeah, bear with me here, or stick with me here. I'm going to talk about the FBI website here too, so I've got some good information for you all. And even though throughout the last 11 months, all of us have speculated about what we think happened or who was indeed responsible for this wonderful young man vanishing without a trace, we have remained and will remain vigilant in staying the course until we have all the answers. Yeah, not me by myself. No, it's everybody out there. It's Bullhorn Betty. It's Silver's on the scene. It's JLR Investigates. It's Dolly here in the 757. I could go on and on and on. We, the internet community, we stay plugged in, right? And now, as for claiming the reward, I'm now going to talk to that one person who will claim and receive this very large reward amount, $250,000. When's the last time any of you or us had the opportunity to speak up and get paid such an enormous amount of money for speaking up with what we know, right? So you know who you are and who I'm talking to, and I'm talking to you right now, Mr. and Mrs. Guilty of having knowledge. more knowledge than you might want to have because it makes you guilty. Listen to me for a second. You've been thinking about speaking up, I know you have, worrying about what others will think of you. What will your family think of you? What will your friends think of you if you speak up and tell the truth and bare your soul? Those who have made you a part of this without really caring about you or what they've involved you in, will they turn on their back on you while you wait to see who speaks up first? It's not a matter of who's turning their back on who. It's a matter of doing the right thing. I'm sorry, I got off my script there. Fact is, you've been made aware of 96% of what's really going on in this case by those who thought they could trust you all the way to prison. Yeah, shame you can't share a cell, right? Well, if you keep to yourself, if you keep what you know to yourself, you know what? You just may end up with a cellmate. I'd give that some very serious thought. I mean, keep your mouth shut all the way to 3 square meals a day, right? You're curious as to how do you even start a process. As I mentioned yet in yesterday's live stream, I quoted Meryl Streep, and I don't like her quote, but right now her quote is very applicable. Start by starting. And though I thought it a ridiculous quote, find it appropriate now during this live stream. Perhaps you just started by starting now, by watching, listening, researching, and thinking about getting paid in the process, being released from the fear and anxiety of getting caught in all of this. What a horrible existence to live in that fear. Aren't you ready to be freed, released from all that? Know this, knowledge is power. And your knowledge right now is power. And everybody else who's sharing that knowledge has that power. He who speaks first, or she, gets to use that power. Everybody else loses it. Knowledge is power. It is also what will convict you in a court of law. Or if he or she speaks up before you do. Do you think anybody else is going to warn you that you should speak up now? Do you think anybody else that's sharing the information that you have, knowing what you know, do you think any of them is saying, maybe one of us should speak up? No, nay. They're all thinking maybe they should speak up. So what's next? Okay, you've decided, all right, I want to speak up. I just don't know how. I just don't know what to do. Well, it all starts with you. If I were you, I'd get into my automobile and I would head to Nashville to the FBI building. It's a very scary thing. This is the boots on the ground. Go do it. But there's other options here for you too. So don't get scared and run off because you don't want to drive to Nashville. It's a scary thing. However, it may not be anywhere near as scary as knowing at any time you could get a knock on your door and they could be coming for you. Yeah, because somebody else spoke up and they dropped your name. Don't wait. Don't wait any longer for that. This is your sign. You're here watching this. We're talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We're talking about a $250,000 reward. We're talking about people who have knowledge like you who may decide it's time to pick up the phone and call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or also 1-800-225-5324. You can even email them at tips.fbi.gov if you're afraid to speak. Maybe you can't speak. Maybe all you can do is get an email out. Get the email out. Let them know where you're at. They'll come help you. If you're ready to talk, first one to hold their hand up. And if you just happen to know the information now, hold your hand up and get out of that bucket of despair. So how does the FBI review tips? Right, I'm going to talk about the FBI website here real quickly too. That's what I originally had planned here. I was looking at a bunch of their signs and badges and all of this stuff because you may see any one of those things at your doorstep, right? But how does the FBI review tips? I put down 4 notes here. Every tip is reviewed by at least 2 federal agents. Not one that looks at it and goes, you know what? I'm not worried about that one. 2 look at it and they look at it, they review it, they talk about it. Tips that have investigative merit, that's what they'll determine. Those two agents will determine, does this tip have investigative merit? And if they do, they're reviewed by a supervising federal agent. So now we got 3 agents looking at that tip. Tips are then formatted electronically and entered into the Guardian system, which is used by the FBI across the country, around the world, to track information. So if we thought, and I'm going to say we, because I didn't think Sumner did their job based on the limited information that I have. I don't know what they really know. I don't. Nor the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. I don't know how they do their job, but the FBI, you can go on their website and learn about anything you want in this country now with Freedom of Information Acts, with FOIA, that's what they call them, FOIA requests. You get body cams, you get all kinds of information. Stick with me on this. This is going to get even better. Tips are reviewed by FBI personnel at FBI headquarters. Okay, they don't review them in the Sumner Sheriff's Office. They're not reviewing them next door to TBI. They're not reviewing them over a donut at Dunkin'. No, they're at the FBI headquarters, which is why I say get in your car and drive down to Nashville. Cut to the chase. Get down there and let's and make it happen before somebody else stumbles onto this live stream and thinks, oh, I better get in my car and get down there. Like Silver's on the scene says, say his name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Because I believe every time we say his name, he remains alive in us to discover every detail, including your part, including where he's at. I'm wrapping up today's live stream, but don't go nowhere yet. I want to say this. As I age, I find myself wondering and worrying about how my body and mind begin to slow down. You know, I'm an old guy, all right? Especially as I near 68 years of age. And then I'm reminded how blessed I am to have made it this far. And that indeed, I have no time to be worried anymore about this or that. If you have knowledge of what happened to Sebastian, wouldn't you want to worry less as well? Especially being younger than me. Because you're going to carry this your entire life. You have one chance to do the right thing still before somebody else does. You can come out of all of this by being a hero, regardless of your guilt. Speak up. Speak up. Take the stance of, I'm doing this for Sebastian. I'm speaking up. I did something. I got involved in something. It was wrong. I'm done being a part of the guilt in this. I want to cleanse my soul. People will forgive you if you speak up. Don't wait to be convicted in a court of law. Do the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do. You can do it. Catch me live every day on YouTube for the rest of my life. It's something I do. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I'll go live again, middle of the week, hump day. Remember to hug those. Don't go nowhere yet. I just got to wrap this up according to my notes so I don't forget anything, right? Join me tomorrow. Remember to hug those that you see, care about, or look like they need a hug. Not because it might be the last hug you ever get. Forget about you. It might be the last hug that that person you see ever gets. If they look depressed, they might be depressed. They might feel nobody cares about them. Just say, hey, you know what? You know, you can use a hug. Can I? You'll be surprised how many people say sure, because nobody else wants to hug them. Think about that. One last thing, 2 last things. For you internet web sleuths out there, when is the last time anybody has physically seen Katie? I'm asking that question. When is the last time? You know, I see the limited photos that are online. Why isn't anybody identifying her and go, oh, that's Chris and Katie? Why aren't we getting more photographs? Where are they? Are they even in the United States anymore? When's the last time we've seen her? Will she be the next to vanish? Lord, I hope not. Now, let's talk about the FBI website real quick. I stumbled on some stuff here, okay? For those of you stuck around this far, FBI.gov, okay? When you go here, they say right up front, we protect the American people and uphold the U.S. Constitution. Know your Constitution, know the amendments, and the FBI will help you be protected with your rights. But look, I scrolled down, help find fugitives and missing persons. Okay, we know about that. But look, get a rap sheet. If you have not gone to the FBI website, I encourage everybody to go there. I didn't even go to these others. I got stuck here because I said, get a rap sheet. Identity history? You mean I could get a rap sheet, say, on Chris Proudfoot? Yeah, and you know what? It tells you right here, identity history rap sheets, identity summary checks for a fee. Of course, the FBI can provide you with your identity history summary check, also known as a rap sheet. This information is public information now. So the FBI says you can do this online by mail or through an FBI approved channeler. Not sure what a channeler is. I think some of you out there channel and I don't know, but anyways, I said, well, how much is this? Got to cost a lot of money, right? Online request within 48 hours, post office. You have to give your fingerprint card. Okay, they want to know who you are. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not running from crime. I'm giving my fingerprints. Yeah, and how much money? Are you ready for this? $18. And you can get a rap sheet on anybody you want. It goes down the steps on how to do it online, how to mail it in, how to get tips for success as far as $18 fee for as many sealed copies as you need. If the request is for a couple, $18 for each person. So we can request rap sheets on a couple, on a married couple. For $36, I could get a rap sheet on Chris and Katie. Or for those of you who want to say Seth, for anybody. Tony Mathis? Who else? Wow, that's amazing. Does that mean I could request a copy of Diddy's rap sheet for $18? I wonder how big that is. A sealed copy. You know what? I might have to try that as a content creator, unless one of you all want to try that out there, or try it anyways. Pick somebody. Heck, pull a rap sheet on me. You'll be wasting $18. There's very not much there to see me. I got a great driving record, never had an accident. But anyways, yada yada yada. If you do not have, this is just neat. A channeler with a private business that has contracted with the FBI to submit your request. I don't need a channeler. It tells you right here how to do it. Anyways, amazing stuff. There's so much information there. If you do go on there real quickly and then you go to fugitives and missing persons, you want to go over to kidnapped missing persons. I mean, you can see all this stuff. Here's Sebastian down here. The FBI is still showing it as a $50,000 reward. As I understand it, this other company or investigative agency at night, I think it was, has the other information on the rest of it. But folks, let's not forget them. I talk about them every Tuesday, and I try to bring them up other times during the week. I might bring this poster out and stuff. I'm not getting paid on YouTube. I'm not getting any money from anybody online, at least as of yet. I can't figure out how to make it all work. But I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. And I know if it's good and positive, that good and positive things will come out of it. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for being there. Thank you for listening today. Please like and hit that subscribe button down there. It's yellow. I spent a lot of time turning it a little bit yellow with a little bit red in it. You see it down there if you haven't subscribed. And if you have subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Share this with somebody. Talk about it. It's like I say, if they're not talking about you, they're not thinking about you. And Lizzie, I got tongue tied because you told me to have a blessed day. I wanted to say, as Libby said, you all have a blessed day too. Thank you all. High five and out. I am SubaruSteve Montgomery in the 757.